probably going to be really loud because I'm driving, and I'm in a Jeep, and for whatever reason it just tends to be way louder than my actual car, that is also a Jeep, but it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It seems the Jeep Wranglers are much louder. Anywho, I could be looking straight at the road and I'm still like not the best driver, but I just got done eating with my aunt. I'm on my way home. My aunt and my friend, we went to, my mom just had, also it like shakes my phone, this little mount up here, because it's, I guess, not a good mount, but yeah, that's kind of annoying. Sorry about that. So anyways, my aunt and I, my mom just had hip surgery, so my aunt and I are doing some of her jobs for her, and Will's off day is Thursday, so that's just the day that I was able to like have childcare and be able to do it. So yeah, fun times. But we went and cleaned a house for these people, and they're super sweet. They're older, and they've been around for years, so it's almost like family, you know? Oh my gosh. I haven't been doing the best with washing my face at night, so. But I'm just driving home, and I'm really, really sleepy, so I thought, well, let me just do a little live while I'm driving home, because, y'all, I just cannot seem to make a video, sit down and make a video and edit. Like, it's just so time consuming. I love it. It's fun, right? But realistically, I just don't have that kind of time, you know? Like, I'm a mom and I'm on the go, and when I'm trying to like work for my mom so that, you know, she doesn't have to stress about it and whatnot, someone else was actually, my sister-in-law was supposed to be working and cleaning this house that my aunt and I are having to clean, but she decided to wait until the day. She don't want to, a couple of days before that, and she was telling me she felt like she didn't have an option to say whatnot. But I was just like, listen, if you don't want to do something, like, you should just tell them. Not kind for you to tell someone you're going to do something, and then, like, you know, this person is having a cert, and I was just like, okay. I went this way so I wouldn't lose service, but apparently I'm still losing service. But my aunt and I both decided that we would do it and not tell my mom. I just contacted the person the day that it happened, and because, you know, when you're cleaning someone's house, like, people, number one, they don't just want anyone coming in there. Like, they don't even know if they can trust you. Thankfully, they know me. They don't know my aunt, but they know me enough that, like, they're like, okay, whatever, like, we trust that everything's fine, and they're pretty laid back, and like I said, they're nice. And majority of the clients that my mom has, they're like, no, we'll be here when you get back. So there's 2 houses that my aunt and I are doing together, and one was today. Saying all of that to say this, that we had really bad storms all night, and so I barely got any sleep. I'm so tired, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna go in here and go live and try to talk and whatever, see if that'll keep me awake. But I am very tired. I'm having a lot of issues, and I sweated all my makeup off too. But tell me this, have you tried Remeron or Rimron? I don't know how to pronounce it, for sleep. I went to see a doctor finally about my inability to sleep. So, like, this has been going on for a really long time, over a year. And oh, there's where my dad's buried at. I don't really come down this road, and we're approaching a year of my dad's death, my biological father's death. So there's that. That reminded me, but I knew the year was coming, but I don't come down this way. So I forgot that I didn't forget that he was buried on this road. I just need to stop talking now before I sound really bad. But I didn't always have a relationship with him, so it was just, yeah. It's basically my biological dad, but that's it. You know what I mean? Sadly. But whatever. So last night, I woke up at 5 a.m. I went to bed at 1:30, I think, 2 o'clock, something like that. So I was not happy when the storm woke me up at 5 a.m. And anyways, that is like an every night thing for me. But like from never getting any sleep, and so like where it's like not the full 8 hours or 7 hours or whatever. And I think everyone is different when it comes to that, what they require. But, you know, most of the time they say 8 hours. So it takes 3 or 4 days or something like that. It was like you're not like back to normal in one day. Like it is a whole, 3 to 4 day thing. Just from messing up one night of sleep, right? So that makes me think of that, like how exhausted I am and how I have no energy, and I'm always so tired during the day, and I just feel like I would be a better mom, a better, like, everything, and mentally, because it really, really starts weighing on you when you don't get much sleep, and you're just a lot happier when you have had sleep and rest, so anyways, like I was saying all of that just to say that I went to see a doctor about it, and I told him that I would prefer to take like a natural approach, but of course after saying that I was prescribed 2 medications, and he told me that he thinks that I'm having like PTSD at night, and which I thought was interesting. Not saying that he's wrong, but I don't know, something's going on. I told him, like, whenever I lay down to go to sleep, I just really, really struggle going to sleep. And these are, like, pretty much all my symptoms that I've really, really noticed, like, after having my baby. Like, most of my life, I was living on the edge. I didn't care, but it seems like, which everyone knows, it's like becoming a mom or a parent, like, you change, and I really changed, and it's like some of the stuff that I used to do, I have no idea how I did it, because it's just like now, if I were to do the things, I just get very, like, anxious, it's just not the same. So, like, here's a great example. Going out in the woods and renting a cabin, or flying in a plane, going on a cruise, riding in the car in the passenger seat with someone, all of those things are like, oh my gosh, something bad's gonna happen. I think, like, if I'm the passenger, I think, like, we're constantly about to get in an accident. If Will's driving, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're having a wreck, like, it's so crazy every time we go on a trip. And I was telling the doctor that we go on a trip somewhere, and the ride there is absolutely terrible, and Will and I end up arguing pretty much the whole ride because it's so stressful, because I constantly think we're about to get in an accident, like he's too close, or I think someone's gonna hit us. It's just, they're all like really, they're not unrealistic fears or whatever it's called, but it's very unlikely that certain things are going to happen. Like, this is a great example. We go stay on vacation somewhere, we go to the house, I cannot sleep at all whatsoever, because I am constantly thinking someone is going to come in, break in our house, and do whatever to us, take my baby, or, like, the likelihood of that happening is not really there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, could it happen? Yes, but it's probably not going to happen. So the fact that something like that keeps me up all night every time we're on vacation is just like, dang, because I wake up the next day from while we're on our vacation and it's like I can't even enjoy it because I'm so tired. And the other thing is, like, I've been on a plane before. I did it by myself before on a plane. Was totally fine. All of these times were before I ever had my kid. I have went on a cruise before, which was really, really fun. Loved it. And I always say I want to go back on another one. But just the thought of, like, all of the what ifs, you know what I mean? And when I get in the bed at night, even in my own... Okay, hold on, I got a phone call. Even in my own house, I constantly think that someone is gonna break in. I wake up all throughout the night and I'm looking at my door to see, because like it's like my door and then I could see my daughter's door, and I'm constantly looking, and I think that someone's there, or they're looking, or like, what if they break in and I don't hear it? You know, it's like, it's really wild. And so the doctor, he asked a lot of questions, and you know, I answered all the questions, and it was like a whole list of questions. And then, you know, like I said, he came back with, you know, thinking that it's PTSD and something else. I don't know. But the one that I remember is PTSD. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, you know. But I do not want to be on a medication every single day. I just don't. I over the years, I have gotten more and more, like, I don't want to be addicted to anything. I don't, you know, I just, as natural as possible. Like, I like to be in my right mind. I like to just, I'm very in tune with my body. And if I take any, like, every time I've ever brought these things up to a doctor, because after I had my baby, I brought these things up too, and they just want to prescribe like an antidepressant, and I do not like the way I feel on that. And so this doctor that I recently saw, I was telling him that. I was like, I don't like the feeling on that. I just don't want to be on something like that. And so he still prescribed one. And I told him I was very sensitive to medications, like the side effects. And they all just act like, I feel like they act like I'm like exaggerating or something. I don't know. Like, they're just like, you need an antidepressant. And obviously I need to do something. And, you know, because what I'm doing right now isn't working, which is nothing. However, I've done like counseling and stuff. So, and this isn't the first time that I've been told about the whole PTSD thing. So, I mean, it might be true. I don't know. It could be true. And I feel like to a certain extent it might be true, but I just, what happens when I come off the medication? Or I know so many people, they start out on these antidepressants and they have to increase and increase and increase the dose, right? And I've been on antidepressants before. I don't think that they're bad, but I mean, when I was 15, I just spit, Zoloft, and I was on that for a long time. My mom took me to the doctor, and they just decided that I needed to be on Zoloft. And he was asking me, like, how did that go? How did I feel? All the things. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, that's 15 years ago. Like, I just hit 30. But, I don't know. I don't really remember. I know that I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it made me feel. I know I really struggled and stuff, like in school, and not in school, but like mentally. It was like I woke up one day when I was like 15, and I just realized that it was like I just put everything together that ever happened in my life, like, in order, and I was just like, I don't like this, I don't like that, I'm not about my mom, I'm angry at my dad, you know what I mean? Like, it was just I think kind of like typical 15-year-old stuff, but all the things that I had went through, which I'd been through some very, traumatic things at that point. So I think when you're like 15, you start to really think for yourself and like become your own person. And I just started realizing certain things weren't what they should be, And I also had a boyfriend, and it was my first boyfriend, and it was different because I got to see what two parents looked like together. So I was just seeing and noticing a lot of things, right? And I think that's how my mom, she was just feeling like I was struggling, I guess, and took me to the doctor and whatever. So I don't know, but I have not picked up the medications yet from the pharmacy. So I don't know. The doctor wants to see me back in 2 weeks, and it's already been a week, and I still haven't picked up the medication. But I am definitely thinking about just trying, because he said the Remeron one, or Rimron, whatever it's called. I'm pretty sure I got prescribed that during my pregnancy. Like at the very beginning, I had hyperemesis gravidarum, and it was so horrible. I do not wish that on anyone during their pregnancy. It's miserable, and I was just completely miserable my entire pregnancy. Also, they say it's more common with having a baby girl. So I had a baby girl, and so I feel like I got prescribed that, and I had a side effect. I don't know what it was, but I don't have to take that one daily. So I feel like I might try that. And I also asked him about, he's going to start me off on the lowest dose, which they always do, because I always request that. And I was like, can I cut it in half? Because, like, I don't want to feel groggy the next day. He was like, yeah, you can, actually. So that's a plus. But, like, I was talking to the lady that we cleaned their house for today, and I was telling her, like, all the stuff about me sleeping, and I just cannot ever get any sleep. I feel like I can't function. I feel like delusional half the time. And I have a strict bed schedule. Like, I'm in the bed at 9 p.m. I try not to drink any caffeine after like 7 or 8. And so she was like, my doctor prescribes me Xanax. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to be on anything like that. But she was like, yeah, it's very addictive and stuff. She said she'd been on it for years, which is fine, whatever. I mean, she's in her, like 30, so, like, why can't I sleep on my own? And I just feel like your body can naturally and should naturally be able to do things. And sometimes medication is great, but it's not always needed. I feel like they're always just, every time these doctors, they just start, like I said, I was like, I don't even want to be on any medication if I don't have to be. And I was very, like, stern about it. And he prescribed 2 medications. It's just crazy. But yeah. So I'm about to pull in my neighborhood, and hopefully I can get some sleep today. Or tonight. I need some sleep. Like, I want to go to sleep right now, but I don't even like to take a nap during the day, because I really, really try to make sure I can sleep at night. It's awful. I take melatonin every night. Sometimes I'll take some Benadryl, but the thing with that is, like, the next day I feel like off. Like, I just feel really tired the next day. And there's also, like, some over-the-counter sleep aid, or whatever it's called. It's some sleep aid. And, like, I've taken that plenty of times, and more than one. And so, I don't know, it's too much for my brain. I don't know why I can't sleep. But have you tried the Remeron? Again, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but whatever. Oh, you know what's so cute, by the way, before I hop off of here? My daughter, she watches Blippi, and every time we pass by there, she goes, I see an Echobeta, and it's a song on the Blippi show that she watches, or yeah, it is a song, and it's like, I'm an excavator. Excuse my singing, but so sorry, I'm looking at my house, got distracted. So like, every time we pass by, it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's not an excavator, but it looks like that type of equipment, she calls it, I see Echobeta. I cannot wait for her. I need to document what she calls it, because someday she's gonna, she's almost 3 in September, and she's going to stop saying those cute little words like that. Another cute one is her elephant. She calls it an onion. And I don't know why this one always looks light right there. I don't know. It doesn't look that way without it. But she'll say, I don't see onion, or I need my onion. And turtle and onion, and excavator, Wawa. She can't say water, so she says Wawa. She's like at the point that she's really, really telling you what she wants, and so it's really bittersweet, honestly. It's sad, but it's also happy and fun. I don't know how I feel about it. The other night, I was texting my friend Shelby. She's been one of my best friends for years, and she was inviting us to her daughter's birthday, and we went last year, and we would have gone every year, but this is our second summer back home. So her daughter's turning 5. That's crazy. 5 years old. And she was inviting us to her birthday, and so I was texting her back, and I was like, yeah, we'll be there for sure. I think it's Saturday in like 2 days, so I need to go get her daughter something for her birthday. But it just like talking about it, and she was telling me her daughter's about to start school, and then I was texting her back, and I was telling her like how Rain, my daughter, is really talking and like saying what she wants, and like we took her to church, and she like almost tore the gate down, you guys. Like, she could not wait to get in there and play with the other kids, and I was thinking that she would like cry for mommy and miss mommy and all this and that, and I mean, even and her dad, because we both dropped her off, but she did not care, and she wanted to go in there and play with those kids and the toys. And Rain will probably be an only child. If we have another kid, it will be like a miracle, or like an accident, because I don't know that I could handle another one. It's just a lot. I would love it, and I wouldn't be mad if I had another one, you know what I mean? Because I just think every child is a blessing, but I'm certainly not trying for another one, if that makes sense. So yeah, anyways, I had like a full-on like breakdown. I was sitting on the couch. It's like 9 or 10 p.m. I'm like texting her, and I was like, I'm crying. Like, Rain is growing. Like, she's talking. She's social. And I was like, we took her to church, and and then I started looking at her pictures because she's almost 3 in September, and I just feel like, even though I've been a stay-at-home mom with her every single day, I always feel like, is there more that I could have done or should have done or should be doing? Like, I just want to appreciate every second, because I know that I'm only going to have it once, and I know that, like, on a lot of the days, you feel very overwhelmed and you're tired, and I heard this saying, and I just think it's so true. It's, the days are long, but the years are short. And isn't that so true? And if you're a mom or just a parent in general, like, it's so true. The days are long. They are so long. You're exhausted. You don't know how you're going to make it. You're tired. You're like, you're so much, you said no to a kid 78 times every 30 minutes, and it's a lot. And then you're staying in the house, and you're trying to get out of the house, and also be like a normal human being, like, that has a social life as well. It's a lot. So it was sad for me when I started thinking about, because she was telling me her daughter's going to be starting school, and I'm like, wow, I only have like 2 more years. And Will's family, they already want me to put Rain in, is it a daycare at this age? Not daycare, it's like a school, like, they learn. And honestly, it would probably be good for her, but I don't know, I'm torn. Like, they have paid for all of their grandkids to go to school, and they have asked about it several times, and I'm always like, no, and I'm sure they'll ask about it again, but I'm just like, no, like, when I'm ready, I will. But honestly, I don't know, maybe like next year, but I don't know. I am very, very protective, and I just feel like when things happen to you in your childhood and you have your own kids, like, you have to find like the middle of not, so to where you're not like too overbearing and like protective, versus like what's good for them, you know what I mean? So I've been really thinking about it, because I have declined for the last 2 years now that they have asked to pay for her daycare. I don't think it's daycare, it's preschool, that's what it is. And it's not that I'm against her going to preschool at all, but I'm not ready for that. And I also feel like I've made it this far with me and her, and I've made sure, like, 100% sure, even if it's costed me my sanity sometimes, made sure that, like, she hasn't been essayed or anything like that, because she has been with me, you know what I mean? And I know that it can happen with family. Like, I literally, you guys, do not trust my own family, and I've made it clear to everyone, like, I just don't trust anyone. And I'm like, it's not you, I love you, you haven't done anything, I trust you, but I also, family always failed me as a child, so I really, really struggle with that. And just thinking about sending her to a day or preschool, even leaving her at church. 2 Sundays ago, they put a note on her back, like a little sticker, and it was just like a sticker that said, "I've been changed with love," and it was cute, but I was like panicking, like, I felt very anxious, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I did not know they were going to change her diaper, you know what I mean? And also, something that I don't really like about the church that we've been going to is, like, and maybe this is just too much, but this is just the way my mind works. There was a man in there, and yeah, he's in church and he's religious and whatever, and he's probably a great man, but I don't want a man changing my daughter's diaper, you know what I mean? Even if it's at church. So the other church that we went to, I like that church, but they had women only. So I just found it a little weird. Like, maybe weird isn't the word, because I don't want to make it seem like this man did anything, because that's horrible. But to prevent something like that from ever happening, why don't we just go ahead and, like, take the steps from the get-go? Because let's be honest, like, we hear of people in daycares who work with children and babies, and that is their job. That's a job that they applied for, that they wanted, right? And they abuse children or, like, do inappropriate things to children. So it's just really scary. You know, I just feel like you don't trust anybody. Like, you cannot trust anybody. I only trust me and her dad. And I trust my mom. I do trust his mom. But I'm like, I don't want grandfathers changing my child's diaper. Like, I just don't. And if it's something where it has to be done, I need them in the same room as my mom and as the grandmothers. You know what I mean? Like, they are not, my child is not to be. So, y'all, I know I sound crazy but it's a lot, you know, and I feel like I'm one of those people that if I try so hard to protect my child and something happens, like, I don't think I would ever be able to forgive myself, because it was just, like, so important to me that didn't happen, you know what I mean? So, but Will and I were talking about it. Like, a lot of it is in my control, but, like, there's also a lot of it that's, like, out of my control. Like, if something happens, I can still try to realize that, like, I did do the best that I could to protect her, and it wasn't like I allowed it to happen, but still, you don't know what you're gonna be like until something like that happens, you know? So, yeah, it's just one of my worst fears. But how do y'all deal with that? Like, if you have kids, like, how do you know when it's right to go to daycare? I've always said when she's able to talk to me and tell me what it means, and I want to make sure she has a clear understanding that, like, we are going to have, like, age appropriate, like, hey, if anyone does this and this, you can tell me, okay? Because when I was a kid, when things happened to me, I told adults and I wasn't believed. So, and the one time that I was believed, because again, multiple different occasions, but the one time that I was believed, it spread like wildfire throughout the entire family, and half of the family said I was a liar. The other half of the family was just like, you know, and honestly, this man should be locked up and in prison. And he's just disgusting. But, you know, thankfully, things weren't as bad for me as they were for other people and my cousins and whatnot. But anyways, all of that to say, like, it's family a lot of times, or family friends. It's always people that are freaking close to you that nobody in the family ever suspects of doing it, you know? So I would be, like, mortified if oh my gosh, you know, of course we all try to say, like, that will never be us, that will never happen to our kid. Look at me peeling off up here because I was sweating profusely. But, you know, again, some things are out of our control, and I think what is in our control is know who you're dropping your kids off with. And, like, do your research. And, like, honestly, from all of the people that did stuff to me, I felt like they gave off weird vibes. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people that do stuff like that to children, they're just odd people. Like, they're obviously not normal in the head. So it's not, I feel like I can read people pretty well. So it feels like I was definitely failed as a child, because as I think back on it now that I'm an adult, it's like, how did you leave your kids with a grown man that was a weirdo. Like, it was so, like, clear that he was weird and if something was off, and you know, like, that's just my thing. Y'all, I cannot wait to be done with this Invisalign. I had to go to the dentist yesterday. I think, oh yeah, I did tell you guys on my live before this. I had to go to the dentist, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm having a lot of pain over here, and you can see, like, right through here, like, the swelling. Like, do you see my face, how different? Like, just through here to here, there's a difference. And anyways, I'm gonna go in here and see my baby. Still torn, and confused, and conflicted about the whole family situation. There's so much to it, you guys. Like, I don't even know where to begin and where to end. And I know that it's really not for, like, social media. Certain things, you know, they're just, you need to deal with them alone in private. But I have been dealing with this alone and in private for a long time. And a long time as in a year. It's actually been over a year, by like a month or two. And I just don't know how to, like, move past when you feel like, hey, so much damage has been done that, like, I don't have any hard feelings anymore. Like, obviously, I'm still bothered and hurt, but, like, I'm a very forgiving person. But if you cross me and I tell you that you hurt me and you keep hurting and keep crossing me that way, I start to just isolate, as anyone would. Like, who wouldn't? You know what I mean? Like, who just wants to be hurt over and over and over, right? So I feel like that happened so many times that I'm just at that point that it's like, I don't really have, like, whatever, it is what it is, but, like, I don't really want to have a relationship. You know what I mean? But it's also hard because I can't just not have a relationship because I have a kid and it's her family. But also I can, because I'm the parent. And, you know, if you're gonna do and all of these things and say all these things about me and never even acknowledge that you're doing that, or dismiss it when I bring it up to you, like, hey, this is hurtful, like, all of these things that you did, all these things that have been said about me, the way it's been said about me to children, how that could eventually get back to my kid one day when that's not your place to share or say certain things about me. It wasn't like a prostitute or anything back in the day, FYI. But and if you are, no worries, make your money, do whatever you need to do. But just saying, like, it sounded a little, but, you know, we all have our stories, okay? And they are just, they it's like they've really, really done some burning the bridge with me. And I have tried and tried and tried to let it go and let them say things and not do or say anything. And it's like every single month they start all over again. You know, you get over one incident and then here they come again. Last month, it was randomly, out of the blue, Will's sister and his sister-in-law. Out of the blue, they message him, they call him while he's at work, and I don't know why that looks so shiny. I don't know, it's so weird, it's bothering me. But they call him at work, and they just start saying awful things about me. that they need to have a discussion with him without me being present, about their parents, the daughter-in-law. She's an ex-daughter-in-law, mind you. So it's not even her parents, but whatever. They need to have a discussion about their parents' assets, and the parents are both completely healthy, that like they have their own will and everything set up, and like it has nothing to do with Will, my fiance, or his sister, but it was just her way of like saying like, hey, we need to have a discussion. Hannah's not to be a part of it, and we need to talk about some things since you are no longer wanting to be a part of this family. And the whole reason we haven't been a part of this family is because you guys have called me a bitch. I'm trying not to cuss online, right? The B word. You guys are have wished death upon me. You said that you hope that I go die. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who says that? And I don't even get an apology for it, right? Let me show you how much bigger of a person I am than them. What else have they done? Oh, when my dad died, Will's mom told me that she would watch Rain so that I could attend the funeral. And she, last minute, like an hour or less, maybe 30 minutes, was like, sorry, I can't do it. And she had just kept her other grandchild for a week straight because his mother, her ex-daughter-in-law, had COVID. And it's like, okay, well, where was your son, aka Will's brother, like, aka the sperm donor? Why wasn't he watching his kid? Like, if I'm sick, they don't offer to help me. On Christmas, I had strep and flu. They never once said, we'll come and get Rain, we'll help you. And Will actually works. His brother doesn't work. The ex-daughter-in-law doesn't work. And they've got 5 kids. So it's just, and it's just disgusting how much stuff they do for them. And I don't want them to do anything for me and Will. What I get mad about is the differences made between our child and their other grandchildren. And, there's differences made between me and their ex-daughter-in-law, who they still say, though, that's our daughter-in-law. Whatever. And that daughter-in-law has done and said some things that weren't very kind. And they acknowledge that. But they also say, we forgive her. It doesn't matter. Whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever. That's on you. If you want to forgive, whatever. But, like, I've never done those things, that she's done. And, like, it's just so, it's like, oh, you guys. She also, the other daughter-in-law, did not even sign a prenup when they got married. And so, of course, they went through this divorce. And it's like, how do you not work and you have 5 kids? How's that? How does that happen? How does your car break down and your in-laws need to go find you another one and pay for you another one? They don't pay my car bill. They don't pay Will's car bill. They don't do that. And they try to sit there and be like, oh, we don't make any differences between you and her. We don't make any differences between our grandchildren. And if we do, it's because there's more of a need for their kids. And I'm like, so the dad doesn't work, the mom doesn't work, and there's more of a need. I'm confused, right? So, another situation. This, y'all. So, I'll tell you 2 more situations, and then I'll have to go. So, talking about this just gets me fired up, you guys. Like, you don't even know. So, I'm like, how do I start? Like, how do I say it? Because I just get so mad. You see me grinding my teeth over here? Okay, so on multiple different occasions, this has happened. This was part of the build up too. They number one, they tell us no, that they can't watch Rain, or they can only watch her when they don't have their other grandkid. The one specifically, like the 5th grandchild, everybody knew these two people, Will's brother and his sister-in-law, should have stopped having children. When you don't have the funds to take care of them and your parents are taking care of them, you don't need to keep reproducing. You know what I mean? So, anyways, they did the opposite. They continued and continued and continued to have kids. And everyone in the family was like, dude, what are you doing? You know, you can't even take care of the ones that you've got. Well, they ended up, because they have so many kids, once the 5th one came about, and children are innocent, you know what I mean? It's not his fault. It's not the baby's fault. But he's like 4.5 to 5. I think he's 5. He has 5. So, yeah, he's 5. Yes. So, okay. Yes, he just turned 5 in March. Okay, so anyways, where was I? I was trying to think where I was at with the story. So, they continued to have kids, and when Will's brother found out that they were pregnant with the 5th kid, he literally lost his mind, okay? As in, he had been saying he didn't want to have more kids. The wife, this ex-sister-in-law, with the 5 kids, right? Will's brother's wife, her ex-wife now, wanted to have as many kids as possible. But, like, if your husband don't want that, then you don't need to do that. You know what I mean? You guys already have 4 kids. You know you're freaking fertile myrtle, right? And they continued to just have more kids. And so the 5th one broke him. And either way, 50% of the responsibility lies on him, because we both know what makes babies, okay? And that's what he did. So once he finds out, he literally loses his mind, ends up having an affair on his wife, and the story just spirals from there, right? They end up getting a divorce. They got back together, trying to work it out multiple times. He could not stay away from the mistress, just whatever. So they ended up throwing like a 17-year marriage down the drain. Everyone in the family was like sad and like distraught. Like, it was horrible, right? And our Christmases were weird because like we were so used to being around them, and especially Will and his family, like this had been their like community forever, right? And honestly, there was never any issue with Will, his family, and me until Will and I had a baby. And it was because there were only 5 grandchildren. Will's sister doesn't have any kids. Only his brother has 5 kids, okay? Will didn't have any kids. So when we have kids, we want our child or children to also be able to spend time and be thought about with their grandparents as well. You know what I mean? Well, they've always had all the grandparent time. They've always, like, everything has revolved around the grandkids, which is fine. But you need to also include our kid in there too, because, like, that's hurtful. And if our kid were older, she would be actually really hurt by that. And little things just kept happening, right? Where, anyways, we moved back home. And that's when it really, really started, because we moved home. They've already missed almost 2 years with Rain. I think Rain was like 1.5 when we moved home. So, yeah, she was. So that first 6 months of us being home, I was just like, wow, we live less than 5 minutes from you guys, and all you do is like go to all of your they're all boys, 5 boys. They go to their games, they pick them up, they take them. They're always so busy with that. So they literally every single time didn't have time for Rain, and or they could only do for Rain or see Rain or hang out with her one day a week. Meanwhile, they were with them every week. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't always like once a week either. It was when it's convenient. Okay, long story short, I meant to say this part too. The last little boy, the 5th one, because of that situation, Will's mother has really, really, really basically took on like a parental role for this child. He's got a mom, he's got a dad, and they have all the time in the world to be parents. So it really started bothering us that we felt like we can't even have a dinner with Will's parents and just our child. Like, they always want to do it with all of them, and it's so chaotic because there's so many kids, you know what I mean? And our kid doesn't ever get that like bonding and quality time with her grandparents, you know, and they're in their 70s, they're in their mid 70s, and or their late 70s. So little things just kept happening like that. And Will's mom also was like, if you need childcare for Rain at all, then you guys just need to get a babysitter. Well, that was another thing that kind of pissed me off, because I'm like, so you don't care if my kid gets whatever that could happen, you know, at a daycare, or not even a daycare. Get childcare, wherever that may be. You don't care. Yet you care that you've done childcare for every other grandchild. Okay? You've done it. You also have done childcare for the 5th grandchild ever since he's been born. The whole time. You pick him up from daycare. You take him to daycare. You do all of these things. She literally plans a schedule every month, and she'll be like, let me find out what the ex-daughter-in-law is doing, and then we can figure out about Rain and get her in there if it's convenient. And I'm like, that is disgusting. Like, I don't like that. Like, that's not nice. And if Rain were older, that would be hurtful to her. So then okay, hold on a second. So anyways, if Rain were older, that would be hurtful to her. Well, so many things happened. Well, they went on about a year ago, because they just went on their most recent one. They just got back home from being gone for like a month, like a week ago, if that. So they were gone for, I don't know, a month or two or something like that. No more than 2 months. I feel like it was a month, but every year they take like a month long vacation. Will's mom and dad, right? So last year, this was like my final straw with them, because I was over it. They went on their vacation, and this was like the 5th time that this had happened. And along with everything that was already going on with them leaving Rain out and just acting like they only have 5 grandchildren and not 6, and just making like zero effort, it wasn't the same effort. And all of the other 4 boys are bigger, but there's like this little one who's 5, and then we've got Rain who's almost 3. So they're both like close in the same age. And Will's mom is older, so like she can't watch them both together, which I don't even want that. I want my kid to be able to have the same stuff that all of your other grandkids have had, So this last year was my final straw. Like, I was over it, and I was like, I'm gonna send a message to everybody, like, because we had a group message, and the ex-daughter-in-law was always on it, and they were divorced. Like, they were going through their divorce. They weren't together. And so it was weird that, like, she was always, like, involved in all this family stuff. And it was just, like, really messy and nasty. It wasn't good, right? So Will had been like, we need to start, like, we can keep this thread, but, like, we need to also have one, like, without her in it, because they are getting a divorce, and this is my brother. This is y'all's son, you know what I mean? And they were just like, absolutely not. And because she's done things before and, like, kind of isolated the kids. So they are very, very, there's more of those kids, and they have a lot more to lose. And that's kind of why I feel that they don't care how I feel or how they make my kid feel, you know, or mine and Will's kid. They just have a lot more to lose there, and they're more attached to them. So, to their grandkids. So they just don't care. But anyhow, this is when I sent a message. They went on their trip. This was like the 5th time that they'd done this to me. They download the WhatsApp. They are in group messages, and they conveniently, you know, accidentally left me out of it. And along with always leaving my kid out of, or mine and Will's kid, sorry, our kid out of everything, their other grandchild as well. So they said that I didn't have WhatsApp. And I was like, no, I do. But this is the thing. They had a WhatsApp. Will told me about it. They didn't add me to it. And, like, if it was a one-time thing, whatever, no big deal, right? But the fact that your other daughter-in-law is in it, and the fact that it's happened more than once, more than twice, honestly, like a handful of times, if I'm being honest. And yeah, it just pissed me off, and I was like, I'm gonna say something. And I wasn't just saying something because of that. I was saying something because you're doing it to me, and you're doing it to my child as well. And it's just hurtful at this point. And so I want you guys to know how I feel about it, and I think it's hurtful. And so I sent it in our group message. I remember I was crying. I was so upset, and I was just so over this. And Will was like, yeah, like, I understand I know that they've left you out of so many things. I know that you've never even done anything to them. And so that's kind of when it all started. I sent the message. I didn't cuss at them, nothing. I was just letting them know, like, hey, this isn't the first time. I still have the message. But I was basically just saying, like, hey, you guys, like, this really hurts my feeling. I waited till they got back off their trip, and something else had happened. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna say something now, because I was just like there, like, I was like, I'm done. And I told them that, like, you know, hey, this is really hurtful, that, you know, and I listed out all the times that they did it so that they couldn't deny it, you know, because and I was like, if you left me out of a group message once, whatever, but, like, I am consistently left out, and I am also a part of this family, supposedly, and my kid is also a part of this family, too. So to just add Will, who is my fiance, to leave me and Rain both out, to be on your trip, you're receiving messages from all of your grandson, or pictures from all of your 5 grandsons. You're asking how they're doing. Not once do you ever wonder or ask how our kid is doing. Your 6th grandchild, your only granddaughter. So I said all of that, and I was like, I just found it really hurtful. Like, you know, this is just how I feel, and I feel like you guys don't really care about us like that. And so it's just very sad to me, and hurts my feelings. And if Rain were older, I think she would be hurt by this too. And the parents did not respond, of course. Did they ever call me? No. Did they ever, like, want to talk to me about it and say, like, hey, we don't feel that way about you. We're sorry if we did something, or you did do something, but, like, we're sorry that we forgot you on the WhatsApp. We're sorry that we have left you out of multiple group messages, but we've also included our other daughter-in-law. You know, like, I told them I wouldn't even be upset or, like, offended if, two things, if it didn't happen more than 2 times. After that, like, it's like, this obviously is intentional at this point, and it's multiple people. It's not even just his parents. It's like everyone in the family, including his parents. And secondly, I wouldn't be offended if it didn't happen more than 2 times, and if it was just a group message with Will's parents and their 3 children, Will's sister and his brother and Will. Like, that would be fine. But the fact that you go in and add your other daughter-in-law, who's now your ex-daughter-in-law, they were getting a divorce anyway at that time too. Like, this has been going on for 3 years. But you forget me, and I am actually in a relationship with your son. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, like, I exist. If you guys want to act like I don't exist, then I'll be that for you. I'll step back and not exist. But if you're gonna treat me that way and my kid that way, like, the only thing, like, my kid she's 50% me as well. And so, you know, anyways, his parents never responded. Still to this day, they only acknowledged it because I brought it up 2 months ago, right before they went on their trip. There was finally a discussion that I was like, I will 100% have one, and I'm going to say exactly how I feel. I'm going to say exactly what I think, and I recorded every freaking bit of it, you guys, because I knew that things would be twisted and said that certain things were said or certain things weren't meant that way and that I'm overreacting. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I recorded it, and I'm so glad that I did. And during that call, Will's mom also proceeded to tell me that every grandparent has a favorite, which makes this whole situation even worse. Okay, I can agree with you. Every parent has a favorite child, whatever. Every grandparent has a favorite. But you don't say it, okay? And you don't say it at a time that someone's already telling you that they feel that there's all of this favoritism. What? Oh my gosh. I never got an apology. I never got an acknowledgement of anything, you guys. And that's nothing, okay? Because 2 months ago when we had that phone call, versus the past year, last April, since I sent that message, his parents didn't respond to it. His brother did respond. And he started saying, I don't even know what he said. Horrible things to me, though. Like, you guys, it's been a while. I've got all the messages, though. But he started being very ugly to me and mean, and it was really nothing to even do with him. And I even said in the message that it has really nothing to do with the daughter-in-law either, except for how did I say it? I said that the reason the daughter-in-law was put in there, the brother and Will's sister, was because Will's sister created that WhatsApp for that specific time that I was left out. His sister had created the WhatsApp. She's younger. And I'm like, girl, like, if you were the parents that did it and they, you know, couldn't find me or whatever, that's one thing. But she did it. She found Will on there. She found the sister-in-law who she's all BFF with. She found her brother. She found her parents. And did anyone ever be like, hey, Hannah's missing from here? Absolutely not. Did they ever call me to ask me, hey, do you have a WhatsApp? No, they just insisted that I didn't have one. And so that whole trip, they're getting all these pictures, they're talking with everyone, and Will's reading it to me and like telling me all about it, and I just wanted to see it, and so I did. And there was not one time that they're asking about their granddaughter. There's not any time that like anybody cared that they left me out. And they didn't just leave me out, they left my baby out too. Like, so I'm offended by that. And anyways, Will was like, yeah, I can understand why you're upset by that. I can understand you're hurt. Da 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 da. Okay. They were put in there because of that. And then the rest of it was like, also, I feel like it's very hurtful that, like, you know, we've got a kid too, and our kid is always last priority, or she's not even a priority, or she's like second best. Like, she's never, you never want to spend time with her. Like, it's, you know, and I just kind of went in about that with them. Well, then I started getting attacked by everyone in the message thread. Well, I didn't really respond. And a couple of hours later, y'all, this is crazy, okay? A couple of hours later, Will's, a couple of hours later, Will's brother, his ex-wife, the baby mama with the 5 kids, right? They've got the 5 kids together, sends a picture in this group message that I said all my feelings about everything on. Sends a picture of her and her 5 kids, right? And they're out getting ice cream, and like they're at the park or whatever late at night. Guess who responds? The people that didn't respond at all. His parents. And they're like, oh, beautiful grandchildren, we love our grandsons. And I'm just like, that is the final damn straw for me. So what did I do? I was done, okay? I was like, you know what? I'm not going to put my heart out there, be attacked. I didn't cuss at anyone. I literally was only saying, you guys, because I knew that it was already very, like, heavy for me and very touchy. So, like, you don't want to say something and, like, cross the line and there's no coming back, you know what I mean? So I was very, very careful with my words and very mindful. I don't want to hurt anybody, right? Just because someone has hurt me, I don't want to hurt them. But also, like, I am going to isolate. If I keep trying and trying and trying, and you're shutting me down or you're shutting my kid down, like, I'm just going to protect and isolate, right? So I wanted them to know kind of where I was coming from, so that, like, we could try to improve it, you know? Or, like, make it better, acknowledge that it's a thing, like, this is happening. But instead, I got the complete opposite. They responded like 4 hours after I sent the message, after Will's brother and sister and the ex-daughter-in-law said things. His parents never responded. No, nothing. Acted like they didn't care. They didn't see it. They don't care. But they get this picture message, multiple pictures, and at that point, they responded, and they were like, beautiful, we love seeing our grandsons and you. And I'm like, okay. Hannah left the chat, okay? So your girl left the chat, and I knew that they could all see it, right? Didn't care. I left the chat, not because I wanted them to see it, but I didn't care that they did at the point, but I was just like, okay, you know, whatever, I'm done. I'm not going to do this. And, you know, again, it had been hours, so they had time to see it. And Will tried to tell me that, like, they just probably didn't see it. Like, they're older. They probably just didn't see it. They did see it. How interesting that they probably didn't see it, but they did see their other grandkids, the one that they're known of, like, having favoritism with, but whatever. So, yeah, that really got things going. And anyways, I left the group chat. Well, no, like, silence, right? Left the group chat. Well, Will's sister, her birthday came up. we ordered her a present and shipped it to her from Amazon or whatever. She got it. She puts it on. She loves cats. She puts the shirt on, sends a picture, and creates a group message and adds me to it, back to it, okay? And she was like, thank you guys for the present. I love it. Well, Will's brother chimes in immediately. Why are you adding people back to the group chat that obviously don't want to be a part of this family? You know, like taking shots at me. And that pissed me off. And then his sister, Will's sister, responds, oh, I was just trying to be inclusive. That's literally what she said. Oh, I was just trying to be inclusive. We haven't been inclusive. And I'm like, Hannah left the group chat again, okay? Stop fucking adding me to shit because I don't want to be a part of it. I'm done with you guys. And at that point, I didn't really have a problem with his sister, but it became a problem because she did that. Like, why would you add me to the group message knowing that I just said, you guys, she was the one that left me out of the WhatsApp group message. She created it and couldn't find me. And she had my number to ask me, what, do you have a WhatsApp so you can be a part of this family group chat? It was literally named family group chat, okay? But whatever. Then after that, Will's brother continued. You guys, it was beyond weird how much his brother harassed and said things to me. Like extremely weird, honestly, because I'm like, this was nothing even about you. But honestly, I have figured out why he got such a problem with me. Him and his ex-wife, it's because Will's parents, his parents, are their free ride, okay? He doesn't have to work for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got nothing to lose. You know, he never suffers any consequences. And he sometimes is like, struggles with alcohol, and then he's better, and then he's not, and then he's in the gym, and then he's not, whatever. So they just always make excuses. Like, Will's parents are 1000% enablers. End of story. They're enablers. And he even lives with them, y'all. Like, how are you in your 40s with a kid, with 5 kids, and you don't have a stable home? Oh, I'm sorry. It's because your parents provide financially for you to be able to live that lifestyle. And then they want to be like, oh, what's wrong with him? What happened to... You're what's wrong with him. You know what I mean? And honestly, I'm not in their situation. I hope I'm never in their situation. I do feel for them. That must be really, really hard to... You know what I mean? Like, I do feel for them. I really, really do. It's sad. It's really sad, honestly. Like, I could cry about it because they're older and they don't need to be having this type of stress. They don't need to have 5 kids on them all the time, or even a 5-year-old. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot. So, anyhow, I do feel bad for them. And, okay, so his brother continued to text Will over and over and over for months and months and months. And I cried about it. I argued with Will about it. Many times Will wouldn't say anything to him. He would just, because he was drunk, would just overlook it and respond. He would be like, so I know you're not allowed to talk to me or your family, but how was the baseball game last night? Or he would say, H2 is just, because, okay, Will has a sister named Hannah, and my name is Hannah, right? So, they have disrespected me. Will, his family, especially the brother and the sister, and calling me H2. And I'm like, you know, years ago, I'm like, dude, that's not my name. Like, stop calling me that. So they stopped, and, you know, they realized Will and I were going to be together and they weren't going to disrespect me like that. So he was continuing to send Will messages like that and call me H2 and just saying like mean things. And I forget all the things he said. I've got screenshots of it all, but he would be just, I don't know, like saying like you shouldn't be with H2. H2 needs to, okay, here goes a good one. The ex-wife, his ex-wife, forwarded a message to me and to Will and herself. You know, we were all in the message. Me, Will, and her. And that was from him to one of his 5 children, the oldest one, saying that I was on drugs and that I need to go overdose and die, okay? He hoped that I would die. And number one, let me just clarify, I'm not on drugs. Like, I'm too fat to be on drugs. But that really pissed me off. And the fact that she would forward that to me as well pissed me off. And like, I was just really, at that point, I was just so angry. And this had been going on for like 7-8 months of weekly, he would text Will and say things about me. And finally, I'm like, Will, you need to stand up for me, or like, I cannot be in this relationship. Like, I'm not gonna have a grown man calling me a bitch and telling children in this family, my kids, cousins, that I am on drugs and I need to go OD and kill myself, and that he hopes I kill myself and die and stuff like that, and that he hates me, that I'm such a, all this stuff, right? Said that to his kid, and the kid responded and said, damn, ... Because the kid was like, what? Like, she's on drugs. You know what I mean? And everyone in the family was like, Hannah, like, he's just on alcohol. Like, and even Will. And I was like, I don't care. Like, you have crossed a line. And he did that the day before, or a couple days before Rain's 2nd birthday. And Will, I had told Will, he kept saying he wanted to invite his family to Rain's birthday. And the whole time I was like, no. And then I was like, yeah, whatever. They can come. Even though all of this is going on, nobody's apologized. Nobody's acknowledging anything. And I keep getting harassed randomly. And your parents aren't even taking up for it. Your parents are not telling him to stop. Your parents pay his phone bill. Like, I understand they can't do things, but also they are the ones, like, at the top. You know what I mean? Like, they make the money. They pay the bills. They get things going. So all they have to do is be like, okay, this is too much. This has went on enough. Hannah is a part of our family. Rain is a part of our family. And you can't burn bridges like this. You can't say things like that. And they did nothing. They said nothing. Nobody did shit. Nobody messaged and was like, hey, they all knew that the woman, his ex-wife, forwarded me that message, and not a single one of them said that they were sorry, or that, I don't even expect them to say sorry for that. It's not their place to. But they never said, we don't feel that way about you. We're sorry on Jake's behalf, you know? And yeah, like, they just did nothing. So I got sent that message. It was like I think it was the night before. I was at my nanny's cleaning her house out, and it was just randomly, like, I pick up my phone and I see that I've got a message, and it was from their Will's sister-in-law, and she was asking about Rain's birthday. And at that point, I was like, he's not coming to my kid's birthday party. The fact that he would go say these things about me to his children, they are minors, they're kids, like, they're 15, 16-year-olds, but they're old enough to kind of understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not just going to forget that their Auntie Hannah is whatever, you know? And it told them, like, specific drugs that I'm on, too. And, which is not true. Like, he said I was on H. Put it together. And I'm just disgusted by that behavior. And anyways, I was like, absolutely not. I don't want any of your family. And I cried like a baby. I was so upset because I was like, I don't want to take that away from my kid, from her experience with her grandparents and her second birthday. But also, like, I want to go. We rented a bounce house and stuff for her, and I'm like, I want to be able to have fun with my kid and jump with her and play with her and not constantly be looking behind my back. And who knows if he'll show up drunk. Will was like, can you promise that you won't show up drunk? Yeah. Well, he shows up everywhere else drunk. He drives drunk. He does all of these things, right? And I was going to let them come because the party was at my mom and stepdad's house, and they knew everything that was going on, and I felt safe. But it was just like last minute. I was like, I haven't bothered them. I haven't done anything to them. I sent my message in April. It is September, and I have continued to be talked down about, to be put down. Now this, now that, you know, Will isn't really standing up for me. He felt like he was in the middle, which rightfully so. He is in the middle, but also at some point, I expect you to tell your family to shut the hell up, that I am your partner, I'm your child's mother, and that you love me, so they need to make it work, because that's the right thing to do. And he wasn't really giving me that. And so once his brother did that, it kind of just snowballed. And once the brother's wife did that, ex-wife, that really pissed me off. And so Brain's birthday was September. In November, we hadn't spoken to them at all, like no contact. And they would all contact Will while he's at work too. Like, another message before that happened with his wife sending me and Will the message, they had messaged, or Will's brother messaged him at work. This was just one of the random times. What's your work phone? Out of the blue, like out of the blue. It was like, I promise you I don't know where this is. Because I'm like, you've got to be saying something. You've got to be talking to him some way, somehow. Like, there's no way that this dude is just going to continue to do and say things. Like, it just doesn't even make sense, right? But he's got a lot of free times. He doesn't work, you know. It's not like he takes care of his 5 kids. So, it is possible. But he randomly sent one of the messages like, what's your work number? Call me. I know Hannah sees your messages. I know she sees everything. So call me when you're away from her. Send me your work number so we can actually talk. And I know you see this, Hannah, or whatever. And Will just doesn't respond. Again, it just continued on and on and on. And, like, to the point it was, for real, harassment. And anyways, it came to November, which was Will's birthday. I felt sad and really sad, you guys, that they couldn't come to her birthday. And at the end of the day, Will would have 100% let them come to her birthday, but I didn't feel that they didn't deserve to be there. They don't deserve, if they hate me so much and you want to wish death upon me, and everyone in the family knows that you're talking that way about me, and none of you even, you know how I feel about you guys leaving me out of messages. You know how I feel about how you're leaving my kid out. Like, all the things. You haven't even reached out to me one time. You didn't even respond to my message, you know? So I just felt like at that point, so much time had went by, and I was going to let them come all the way and just, like, ignore it. until he did that, like the day before. And it just really, really just messed things up. And then in November, I was like, Jesus help me. um, it was Will's 39th birthday, and I wanted to have him a surprise party. And I knew that it would not be complete if his family wasn't there, and including his brother. So what did I do? I was the bigger person that I am, and that's why I feel the way that I do today, and I'm strong, and I'm standing firm in what I believe, and I'm not backing down from them anymore, because I was the bigger person. After everything that happened, after everything they did, I was like, I'm going to invite them. I personally texted each and every one of them to invite them to his birthday. And what do you know? His parents needed to be 2 hours late because they had obligations, which were their grandchildren. They were going to be at their ball games. They needed to go to 2 different ball games and hang out, spend the day there, and then they would come straight from the ball game to Will's surprise party. And I'm like, okay, you guys are going to be the only ones late, but okay, I'll stall and just wait, So we did that, and I just let it be what it was while we were there. I didn't say anything. I gave everyone a hug. I was, nice. Well, we're there. They haven't seen our kid in months. And the whole time, you guys, Will's mom sat there holding the little boy that's 5 in her lap the whole time. Did she hold Rain? No. Did she ever try to hold Rain in her lap? No. Rain was sitting in her high chair for the first little bit at the end of the table. They were way over here at a different part of the table. And Rain was just sitting there by herself and just playing. And I had 2 of my best friends there. And my family was there, some of my family. And they were like, what? They haven't even seen her in months. And they have been with these boys all day long. And she's just sitting there holding this one boy. And just not even... So that was really pissed me off. And finally, my friend was like, can I go get Rain? Like, she's just sitting over there by herself. She's in the high chair. Like, let me go get her. Well, me and my mom, we were like, no, let's just move her over here beside Will's mom. So we did. His mom sat there. She colored with them. Rain needed to sit in her high chair while she held the little boy. Rain is much younger than that little boy. Okay, at the time, she had just turned 2. So, he was 4. And, I'm sorry, make it make sense. You haven't seen your only granddaughter in months. You can't even pick her up and hold her on your lap. You've got to hold him the whole time. You couldn't even hold them both on your lap. Do something. Because I'm like, if Rain was older and she's wanting you to hold her, are you going to decline or deny her? It's disgusting. And it's so obvious that you have a favorite. So that was very frustrating. Well, Christmas rolls around. Will's brother was there. They all came there to the birthday party, by the way. The brother bounced in the middle of, this is what he's known to do, leave in the middle of the birthday. And guess what? Do you think he took his 5 kids with him? Absolutely not. The mom wasn't there. She was at a tournament with one of the other kids. This is why you don't have 5 kids that you just cannot take care of. And so if you have 5 kids and counting, I'm not shaming any mom. It's just the fact that they literally pawn everything off on Will's parents, and so it's annoying. But Will's brother left. He had to go get his, hang out with his mistress. And mistress, I don't know. But he had to go hang out with her. So he left the kids there. So that means Grandma and Grandpa They came with the boys, and they were all late because of that. Minus one, because he was out of town. And they end up leaving with the boys as well. Which means at Will's birthday, he hasn't seen his family in so long. It's been really rough and sad for everyone. But while they're there, their focus is just only on their grandkids. And they can't even enjoy the time that they have there with us, like that's why we don't want to hang out with them when they're with them, because it's just, there's never any time for like Will and his parents or Rain and her grandparents. Like, it's just, so we get down at the party. They're walking out with all 5 of the grandkids, There's bye, Rain. By the way, I brought that up, how I felt about that with them and their grandkids, even at Will's 39th surprise party, and we hadn't seen them in months. I don't care about me. I care about my child, our child, and I care about Will. And I know that it hurts Will. And I just think it's disturbing that your only focus the whole time was the little boy, your youngest grandchild out of the boys, and that was your focus. Like, you didn't care about anything else, okay? And I brought it up to her on the phone call, and I was like, I just found it really hurtful. The phone call we had about 2 months ago that I recorded, that I told you guys about, I was like, I found it really hurtful that you did that. That you didn't even pick up Rain. You sat with Ben the whole time. You didn't even pick up Rain. Ben sat on your lap. He's big enough that he can sit in an actual chair. Like, he's, like, come on, dude. You just came with them. You were with them all day long. You're with them every single day. They live in the same neighborhood as them, okay? For crying out loud. And we live a couple of neighborhoods down from them, so we don't live very far. And she was like, I was like, yeah, Jake freaking left. She was like, no, he didn't. He stayed the whole time. And I was like, no, he didn't. Like, he left. And you guys and his mom just denied it. Like, he stayed there the whole time. We all walked out together. And I start asking everyone that was there, I'm like, did Jake leave? And even Will, yeah, he did. Okay. This is how his parents act. Like, it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what I do. So the most recent thing that happened, which is what prompted the phone call that we had 2 months ago before their trip, approximately 2 months. It might be like a month and a half. I feel like 2 months is just safe to say. But Will was at work. All this time went by. We saw them on Christmas, but we all had the flu and we had strep, and so Will and I didn't get to celebrate Christmas with anyone, really. We had to do it afterwards, which worked out fine because there was such issues with his side of the family that I had already told him I didn't want to be around him. Like, I did what I did for your birthday, but the fact that we go there for your birthday and like, it just, like, nobody even cares, and so I was kind of just like thankful. I probably would have done it for Christmas, but I was really just thankful that, like, we didn't have to. And also I was like, we have our own family anyways. Like, I don't need to be at your family's. They want to do Christmas Day over there with all their grandkids and have everyone, come over there, and just, like, we have our own family. I want to be in our own house. It's nice to go over there, but, like, I don't want to go over there at 8 a.m. I just would prefer, like, I've got my own baby. I want to do that. I want to make cookies on my baby. I want to stay here. I want to wake up. Like, you guys are welcome to come by here, but, whatever. So we did Christmas over there late, like a week later. And it was so awkward, okay? And usually, like, I don't care about a Christmas present, right? But it was so, you guys, so obvious that there were differences made that it stood out really bad. And like every year for Christmas, they always like, what do you want for Christmas? And they ask, well, what do you want for Christmas? And we just tell them, and then that's what we get. Well, they never even asked me what I wanted for Christmas, which, fine, whatever. But it was so weird because we go over there. Will and I, we bought his brother a present. We bought his sister a present. We bought his parents presents. And all the boys, all 5 grandsons, and all 5 of Will's nephews, we bought them presents. So it was just another slap in the face that they would make such a difference. Will's sister didn't even get me a present. She got Will a present. She never got me one. The sister-in-law, the ex-daughter-in-law, Will's sister-in-law, she got me this jacket that is like 4 times my size. I've tried to give this jacket away to so many people. So it has the stickers on it. I don't even know where it's from. I don't even think it's from, honestly, it might be from like the Dollar General, but I don't know. It's not even like a name that you've ever seen before or heard of. It's not Costco. It's not like, it's so hideous and it's so oversized and it's so something that I wouldn't wear. And that was through in a bag, and that was my present. And every year, last year I got $25 Ulta gift card from her. And then from Will's sister last year, I got a $50 Ulta gift card. Will's parents, they got me a $100 gift card plus a $50 gift card from Ulta plus other, a couple of other gifts. This year, Will's parents, they're not gonna, be weird, even though it was still weird. They got me a Lululemon gift card with $200 on it, which very sweet. I loved it. I thought that was very nice, and I really appreciated that, right? And there's nothing bad to say about that. But Will's sister got all the things that Will wanted off. She got multiple things for Will, and they were all on his Christmas wish list that he wanted. Every year they ask, like, we all tell each other, what do we want? And we send a list. She got him multiple things. Got me nothing. She, his sister-in-law, Will's brother's ex-wife, she got me that jacket. She got Will multiple things from his Christmas wish list. She got Rain multiple things too. Whatever, but it was just, and then of course his brother got me nothing, which is whatever. Like, I don't even care about a gift, but I just think, it's, the treatment is just so different, you know what I mean? And then also on top of that, what was funny is, like, the last year we were there, they gave their daughter-in-law like a big $500 wad of cash for her Christmas present. So I thought it was just kind of interesting. And then also they give it to all their kids plus her. But yeah, and this year that it was so crazy how differently I was treated. And so that made me even more be like, why do I want to be around people that, like, are treating me like dog shit for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, I still got you guys things, you know. Will might purchase it, but I pick them out majority of the time. I come up with the gift. I know it's my time. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just really hurtful that they would do that and like really leave me out like that and just act like I'm a nobody. And that's what I told them in my message, my first message. I said that, and like I felt like I was a nobody to them, and like that it was hurtful because to my knowledge, I had never done anything to them. I don't know what I did to any of them to leave me out of messages and forget me and all that. Another time that I wanted to tell you guys that bothered me, Will's dad had like he woke up and just had no memory, had to go to the hospital, long story short. And Will's mom called us and told, we were in Missouri, and we were like, oh my gosh, like keep us updated, we're so worried, you know, especially, I was like, please keep us updated. Like I was more worried about it than Will was. Well, his mom sends a message out to everyone telling them the updates, how he's doing. I was at work and I never knew how his dad was doing. I was sitting there waiting for a message like for all day long, like what's going on, and then, you know, I never got anything. And it was because she went and did a group message and added Will, his sister, his brother, and his brother's wife, ex-wife, and conveniently forgot to put me in there, right? So, like, I mentioned that. I was like, that's hurtful. Like, I was worried. I cared about what happened to him, too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I actually really genuinely cared. I was very concerned, and I was actually like, wow, she hasn't said anything, you know? And then I got home from work later, and Will's like, yeah, so this is what happened, is going on with Dad or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, did she send a message about it or whatever? And he's like, yeah, did you not get it? And I'm like, no. And then we look at, it's not because I'm like actively looking for this, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't just sit here and nitpick every little thing. And we start looking, and it's because she had sent it to everyone except for me and the family. And if it was just to her children, that would be different. But it's the fact that you send it to your other daughter-in-law, who is actually going through a divorce with your son. And that was one. And then another time was like, Will and I were talking. He's like, did you see that message today that Jake wrote in the group? Because Jake would just start cussing everybody out and just cussing in the message. He was drunk. Like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, what is it? Well, it's a different thread where they're all on it, but I'm the only one not on it. And I'm just like, oh, you know. So it happened multiple times that I was forgotten about or left out before I started feeling some type of way. And it took years for that to happen. And it really started pissing me off when I have a kid who deserves to be as much a part of this family as all of your other grandkids are, you know. And when I see pictures of your grandchildren being sent, but my child never even gets, Will's not going to send the picture, you know, and you're getting it from your grandchildren's mother. And you know what I mean? Like the fact that you would just, you know, I don't know, you guys, but anyways, so where was I with that? Oh, so the most recent thing that happened that prompted the phone call, because I was just like, I need to say how I feel. I need to not hold back. I am ready to unleash this crap on these people. Like, I am so over this. So Will was at work. This was like, so the phone conversation that I had with them was probably about a month and a half ago. So it's probably been right at 2 months, no longer than that, that randomly, out of the blue, like the last time I spoke to Will's sister, it was like a Merry Christmas. She said that she was getting me a gift, that it just wasn't there on Christmas or whatever. Long story short, I've never received the gift, but okay, girl. You know, like I said, I was treated very different. So And did I get her something? Yeah, because I've been the bigger person over and over, and I'm tired of being the bigger person. Okay, at some point, I'm just gonna put my big girl pants on, and I'm gonna keep it pushing, and I don't want to have anything to do with you. So, let me stay focused because I get so mad. So randomly, Will's at work, per usual. And he gets a message from his sister saying, out of the blue, you guys, like I said, Will, we need to talk. It was like, we need to talk, since you no longer want to be a part of this family. Like I told you guys earlier, you no longer want to be a part of this family anymore. We need to talk about mom and dad's assets, and Hannah doesn't need to be a part of this conversation. And for once, Will stuck up for me, and he was like, I'm really sorry. I mean, I started crying when he sent me the message. He was like, I'm really sorry that I haven't stuck up for you more during all of this. I'm going to do better. He felt, torn because it's his family, but also, like, I'm sitting at home. He started realizing I'm sitting at home minding my own damn business with my kid. I take care of my kid every single day. I don't pawn my kid off on people. I don't get a break, And so when the sister started doing this, he was apologetic to me, but he's also a little wishy-washy when it comes to it. He'll apologize, but then he'll, the next week say mean things about it and say that I'm just jealous of them and I'm just jealous of this little boy, or I'm jealous of the little boy's mom, the sister-in-law, or whatever, Will's sister-in-law, and I'm jealous of the fifth grandson. And he says those things in the heat of the moment, but like, dude, like, no, I'm sorry. I'm one of those people. I feel like you say what you mean when you're mad, and like, you obviously believe that to a certain extent. And so anyways, his sister did that. He stuck up for me, and I was just like, I'm freaking done. I haven't done anything to her. And then the sister-in-law, Will's sister-in-law, the ex-sister-in-law, butts in, and she starts blowing Will's phone up too, and starts doing and saying all these crazy things along with his sister. And the sister was like saying that I was looking through Will's phone, and she sent a message, and Will was screenshotting it, sent it to me. She said, "Bye, Hannah. You're so insecure. No wonder Will cheated on you." And I'm like, he did? Like, I didn't know he cheated on me. Like, what? For no reason. Like, I'm sitting at home minding my business. I'm not bothering any of you. She's mad that Will's like, no, if you want to talk to me about something, that's fine. But, like, if it's going to be a discussion and, Hannah's not there to, like, fend for herself, like, no, we're not going to do that. Like, I'm not interested. And so I was really happy that he stuck up for me. And I just felt like he was finally seeing it. And, y'all, it's, like, short-lived because they do all that, right? Big, huge blow up. Will's at work. His dad is getting him on the three-way call with his sister. And they only want to do this while he's at work and not around me, so that I'm unable to fend for myself, like I said. And also, I'm sitting at home minding my business. I'm not reaching out to you guys. I'm not texting. I'm not calling. I'm not bothering you guys. And so the fact that you guys are just randomly hating on me, and it's just crazy. So a few days before, the day before Will's sister did this, Will's ex-sister-in-law sent out a message to me and Will. Or no, she sent a message to Will while he was at work. hey, Will, call me when you can. And I texted, and back in the message, Will sent it to me. And I was like, hey, do you need something? Will's at work. If you need something, I'm off work, you know. You can reach out to me if you need anything. Just let me know. He's at work. He's busy. Because I wanted her to know, like, because she'd done this multiple times since Christmas, saying, call me, and knowing he's at work. Like, she did this on a Friday. He was off work on Thursday. Why didn't you call him then, honey? Why didn't you call him then? Why didn't you call him then? Oh, because you had some negative stuff to say about me? So no. And I've really told Will, like, you do not need to talk to them while you're at work away from me. Like, that's not the way they are talking badly about me and putting me down, and you don't have the backbone to stand up for me and tell them to shut the up, you know, like, then yeah, I have to make you choose between me or your family, because, like, I'm not just going to be beat down forever. I'm not going to cry every week while I'm sitting at home minding my business, not even talking to them or reaching out to them, nothing. And I'm just getting harassed and attacked. And he'll be like, you're not getting harassed. What do you call that? You know? And if my family ever disrespected him that way, I would be so fast, y'all. And maybe that's where I'm in the wrong, is like, maybe I shouldn't stand up for him like that. Maybe I shouldn't feel that way. Like, is that wrong? I don't know, because he doesn't seem to understand. Like, he's just in one ear out the other. Like, no, you don't need to let a grown man, your brother, call me a B word or say that I'm on whatever. Like, you don't need to let a grown man, you're supposed to protect me, you know? You're supposed to protect me. And whatever. So I messaged the sister-in-law that, and I'm like, hey, do you need, and it wasn't mean, but it was like direct. And I was letting her know, like, I know that you're messaging him and he's at work, and if you've got something to say, you can call me, okay? You can call me. And it was short, sweet, to the point. It was not, I wasn't like, what do you want? Question mark. You know what I mean? Like, I could have said that, and I wanted to, but I didn't, because I was like, I'm just going to let her know that I know, okay? I know. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, girl, okay? And she, like I told you guys earlier, she is all BFF with Will's sister. And the sister and her do like this hate train on the brother. And it's because he cheated, has a mistress, is with that mistress for like 3 years now. Didn't work through his marriage, has 5 kids, you know, all the things. But also, it takes 2 to tango. So he didn't do all this by himself. However, he shouldn't have done what he did. But again, here we are. Let's just, like, it's your brother. Okay? If your brother wasn't happy, like, it's okay. And you can be nice to her. But again, I would never receive that same support from any of them. If anything ever happened between Will and I ain't going to be receiving no support from these people. Won't happen. It's never happened before. So, and I mean support as in, like, the way they support her, not financially. They support her 100% financially, but I'm not even speaking about financially. They would 100% back Will up if he did that to me. That's just how they are. So, and that's the differences that I'm talking about. Like, there's just so many differences. And what was I gonna say? Oh, so the sister-in-law did that. I sent the message. Well, I knew that she would immediately go gossip, because that's what they do. Like, it's always very obvious when they do that, because Will starts getting messages from, like, it's like a line of them. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously you guys are gossiping, and that's not nice. And so Will, they wait till he goes to work. They know he's off on Thursday. So they waited until he went to work, and there they went, his sister, and started saying all that they need to have a conversation without me, and that I don't, since I'm keeping home from his family and whatnot,
they needed to go ahead and exclude me from everything in case something ever happens to mom and dad, because you are in the wheel and we're going to make sure Hannah gets nothing. But what's funny is, girl, if Will and I ever get married, I will happily sign a prenup. I don't want stuff that's not for me. Now, anything Will and I have accumulated together since we've been together for 8 years, that is ours, okay? But I am not the sister-in-law. I don't want things that were not intended for me. These aren't my parents. I don't want the inheritance money. I don't want inheritance anything, okay? I don't want what's not mine. And the fact that they would think of me as that way when they don't even, like, they don't pay for anything for me. You know what I mean? Nothing. They're all on the same phone plan, including their daughter-in-law. I pay my phone bill every month. Every month. So, it just goes on and on, right? So, yeah. I love this stuff, y'all. It feels so good on the lips. But they started blowing his phone up. She did. And then Will went off on her, which I appreciated. And, she sent little personal messages to me from Will's phone. And I'm just like, girl, you've got my phone number. Like, send it to me. Call me. Like, do it, So I went to the store and got me some wine. And I cried. I was just, again, it's like I just constantly get, like, over it, or to the point where I'm starting to heal from it, and then I get re-traumatized again by all of them just hating on me and being mean and for nothing. Like, again, you guys, I swear to God, it's for nothing. I could show you the receipts where I'm not saying anything, I'm not doing anything, I'm at home out of my business, and I just start getting attacked, or Will starts getting attacked, and they're talking about me, and they're saying, like, you shouldn't be with me, and, like, just not nice things that they would never say about the other woman that's in the picture, and anyways, she has it made. She didn't sign the prenup. She's got cheated on. Like, she's good to go, girl, okay? And I think that's why they want to kiss her butt a lot too, because they know that she will be getting a lump sum, okay? And me, on the other hand, if Will and I were to get married tomorrow, it ain't gonna happen unless there's a prenup. Even if I didn't want to sign one, it ain't gonna happen. There's no marriage without a prenup. It ain't happening. I'm not getting anything, okay? Even if, even if I didn't want to, okay? So it's not gonna happen. But it's okay, because I don't want what's not mine anyway, okay? That's the point. I don't think I'm owed anything, especially their finances. Will's family, like, they're okay on money. Like, his dad has done great. And that's his money. He's worked hard for it. And it's not mine. It's his children's money when he passes away. It's not mine. Like, I don't care. I'm whatever. Money doesn't fix everything. And is it nice? Yeah, but does it fix things? Does it bring you happiness, endless amounts of, no, it doesn't. So, whatever. But the sister started doing all of that and saying all of those things to me, and it just, when that happened, I went to the store and I got me some wine, and I just cried, and I wrote a message to Will's sister and to Will's sister-in-law, and I literally just went off and was like, you guys are just ganging up on me. You're acting like a bunch of bitches. And I said, if you would stop talking shit about me, you wouldn't have to worry about Will, worry about, I said, I'm not reading Will's messages. He told me what they were because he's not going to hide it. And the fact that you would expect him to hide things from me, his partner, shows why the two of you are fucking single and you can't keep a man, because that's not how you treat people. Like, I laid it down, y'all. I was like, I mean, I was proud of myself. I'm still proud of that message because I took hours to reflect and write it down, and then I like really, really like fixed it right up, and it was great. I'm still happy that I sent it. And you know what's even more disturbing and disgusting is the fact that I told them to stay away from me. Don't reach out to me. If you had something to say about me, let me know. Don't go behind my back and say it to Will. Say it to me. Ladies, that's what I told them. Ladies, say it to me, okay? Say it to me. If you don't like me, if you don't like something about me, say it to me. And if you don't like me that much, then why do you keep talking about me? Like, I'm not bothering you. And, my birthday just came on May 2nd. I'm 30, yay. And Will's mom texted me happy birthday. I didn't say anything. And I'll tell you why I didn't say anything in just a second. But Will's sister didn't say happy birthday. His brother didn't say happy birthday. His dad didn't say happy birthday, which is whatever. I don't want anything to do with them at this point. Like, I'm just so sick of it, okay? And, yeah, so, like, oh, I was gonna say this. The sister-in-law who I sent that message to, right, with Will's sister, because they started up on me about 2 months ago, randomly, really started on Will about me and leaving me and how I'm horrible and this and that, and, and then, you know, Will's sister was saying, like, bye, Hannah, you're so insecure, no wonder he cheated on you, and I'm like, what? He cheated on me? I did not know, girl. But, yeah, so after, oh yeah, okay, so the sister-in-law and Will's mom were the only ones in Will's family to tell me happy birthday, and they all know it's my birthday. I've been in the family for like 8 years at this point. You would think I was brand new, but I told Will's sister and his sister-in-law to leave me alone, okay? Leave me alone. I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have anything for you. You've done enough damage. You've hurt me. I'm done being called bitches. I'm done being wished death upon. I am done. I'm done. And I'm done with this cattiness. I'm done with the drama. Leave me alone. And if you don't have anything nice to say about me, don't say it to Will either, because he is going to stand up for me. He doesn't want to talk to either of you either, because he is my partner, and that's what a partner does. And you guys don't know anything about it because you don't have one. And there's a reason you don't have one. And anyways, this is the type of, like, she's condescending. This is what she does. She's messy. So she messaged me on my birthday, this ridiculous lady, and she's like a very big Christian religious woman, okay, and she wrote, happy birthday, Hannah, hope you had an amazing day, or I hope you had a good day, something like that. And I'm like, no response. I meant to also say one of the things that she did that pissed me off too. Christmas, she texts Will. She says, Merry Christmas, Will. I hope it's all that you need it to be. Did she text me? No. So what if I texted her husband? Merry Christmas, Jake. I hope it's all that you need it to be. Really? I don't think any woman would like that. If I was like newly dating Will, but like I've been in the family, hello, for 8 years. I have a child in this family. And mind you, I've already told you that when you sit here and single me out like that hurts my feelings. So for you to be this Christian woman and you go send my partner a message that I'm actively in a relationship with, and I called her out for this, but we're in a relationship, unlike you with your ex-husband, and you tell him Merry Christmas, I hope it's all that you need it to be. Like, what, girl? What does that even mean? Merry Christmas would have been just fine, but it's like she does these little jabs like that. So, yeah. There was something else I was going to tell you guys. I don't remember, but all of that happening, I was like, we need to have a talk, because Will's mom randomly was like, I can watch Rain tomorrow, like 2 days after Will's sister and this sister-in-law did this to me. And I'm like, girl, where have you been? Like, the whole family just, it's like they go in order, okay? Boom, 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 boom. And one starts, and then the choo-choo train just keeps on freaking rolling, okay? And they keep on just running me over. And I don't say anything back. I never say anything back. I just, whatever. But the minute it starts, I'm trying to let it get better, here they come again. But that, between Will's sister and her, the sister-in-law, their daughter-in-law, Will's mom messaged asking to watch Rain. And I'm like, we haven't heard from you in ages. You haven't been a part of my kid's life for ages, okay? Like, no, you're not just going to come and watch my kid. And I'm not dropping her at your house, and you're not coming over to my house. Because, like, I don't feel comfortable with you guys now. Like, you guys obviously don't like me. And it's just too much for me, you know? And so we have a phone call with Will's parents. Y'all, this is what made me draw the line with it and be completely done. The phone call that I recorded, they were like, yeah, well, Hannah, she just has a sharp tongue. We know she can, say things sometimes. And I'm like, just has a sharp tongue. So, like, I deserve to be spoken to? No, but, like, we just want everybody to get along. And I'm like, okay, Winnie, which is the daughter-in-law, the ex-daughter-in-law. Okay, the daughter-in-law and the ex-daughter-in-law are the same person, okay? Maybe I should have just said their names, but I was trying to help not make it confusing. But anyways, they're like, I'm like, so she's done a list of things that are hurtful to me. One, she forwarded me a message to me of her husband wishing death upon me and telling his children, which are your grandchildren, but my kids' cousins, that I'm a user, and that he hopes I OD and die, and saying that he wants me to die and all this and that. And he's never even said he was sorry or anything. We're all supposed to be family, right? He is, she forwarded that to me. She also sent Will, they said she accidentally did that, probably, that they know her so well. She's a great person. And the second one about the Merry Christmas, I was like, she sent my significant other a message on Christmas that literally said, Merry Christmas, Will. I hope it's all that you need it to be. And she didn't say that to me. They were like, oh, well, you want to know what they said for real? They were like, oh, well, she did that because they were like, she has 5 kids, okay? Like, she probably just started writing the message and she sent it to Will and she literally just sat her phone down. I was like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? Like, this conversation that we had was supposed to, like, try to, like, mend or help with some of this, maybe getting past it. Just let's lay everything out there and, like, acknowledge it for what it is and see if we can move forward. But instead, everything that I said that was hurtful to me, they downplayed all of it. And they told me that she probably sat her phone down, that she's got 5 kids. And then I was like, okay, well, what about this time? Oh, she probably accidentally forwarded you that. Okay, well, what about this where she's, what was that? Oh, going and talking to Will's sister and saying things about us. It's so obvious that she's doing these things. And then they also were like, oh, she's just really hurt. And then the son, they were like, for his excuse was, we're not even going to talk about him. And I was like, what? And they were like, anything that he's ever said or done to you, we're just not even going to talk about that because we can't change him. You know, he's been drunk, but he's doing better. He's much better. He's on a better path. And I'm like, okay, that's part of this whole problem. And, anyways, they were like, so she's never spoken bad about you at all. She doesn't speak bad about people. She has not a mean bone in her body. We've known her for 20 years. So of course we're going to be closer to her. And I'm like, okay, but I've been around for 8 years now and counting. And I just think if you're not going to treat me nice by now or like I'm in this family, then it's just never going to happen. But and also I have a kid in the family too, but okay. But anyways, they were like, she doesn't have a mean bone in her body, and she, oh gosh, I don't even, it was so like ridiculous that I don't even know everything they said. But they said, I'm so sleepy, it's hard for me to think. They said, look at how, maybe that's food. That she sat her phone down. They said that she doesn't have a mean bone in her body. They said they've known her for 20 years. They just said all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just crazy. That she did not do anything to be hurtful or intentionally hurtful to me. Like, oh, this is what I was going to say. She doesn't talk bad about people. She just has never said anything about me in a negative way. Like, I'm just overlooking or overthinking everything when it comes to her. And a few minutes later, they were like, we know that she's just very hurt by all of this, and she's very feels that it's not nice for her kid, the youngest kid, to not be able to hang out with their uncle or their cousin Rain. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Me too. And they were like, and I'm like, I thought she never said anything about me. And I forget exactly how she said it, but I've got it and I've listened to it on my recording plenty of times. But they were like, this one looks higher to me. I just went and got some filler. I mean, my phone is sideways. I hope maybe that's it. I don't know. But my aunt and I were talking about how it seemed a little bit off, but it was just really hard to tell. No, this does look a little higher. This area is a little bit higher. It's hard to see, but so yeah, anyways, they told me, now I can't stop staring at it, but they told me that she just feels X, Y, and Z about this whole situation. And I'm like, so she has talked to you about it, you know? So it was just very clear that they are not going to tell the truth. Will's mom also said that every grandmother has a favorite grandchild, which I thought was not very nice. Like, I'm literally sitting here saying that that's hurtful, and you want to be like, well, my grandmother had a favorite child. Well, your grandmother, you were her favorite grandchild. And Will's like, yeah, but she brought up this stupid point trying to say, my grandmother had a favorite grandchild and I never noticed it. And Will goes, okay, but all these years later, you remembered that your grandmother had a favorite grandchild. So you obviously were. She goes, yeah, but I'm not affected by it. And Will's like, yeah, but you obviously remember that. And so, like, that's our point, is that Rain will remember, you know? So, anyways, the conversation was basically a let me know that they are not going to ever really understand where I'm coming from. They don't care. They didn't acknowledge anything. Like, literally everything, you guys, they had an excuse for. An excuse that literally she set her phone down. And I'm like, you guys don't fucking know what she did. Oh, this was another good one. I was like, I can forward you the messages that she has done and said. I can send you the things that she has done. Your daughter-in-law, okay? Your ex-daughter-in-law. They were like, she's not our ex-daughter-in-law. She's still our daughter. And I was like, sorry. You know, like, I'm actually in the family. We're both going to be in the family no matter what, but, you know, I'm actually with your son, and I've never done anything disrespectful or hurtful to you guys. I've never done some of the things that she has done, okay? So, the fact that you would treat us so differently like that, I don't know, but whatever. So anyways, they said, oh my God, I always lose my train of thought because I'm like, this just pisses me off. What was it? I don't know. It felt like a waste. And then after the phone call was over, Will had just hoped that I got it off my chest and it was going to be better. And that was my goal. Like, that is exactly what I hoped for at the beginning. They told me that they think there's an infection. It's like hurting right now. And it looks swollen to me. But anyways, Will was really hoping that, like, that would fix it. Like, that the conversation would just really fix it. And honestly, it didn't make it worse, but it didn't, like, I don't know, it didn't make it better. It didn't really help. This hurts so bad over here, and it just looks weird. It looks bigger. I don't know. But yeah, like, after that conversation, I just felt disrespected all over again and was like, what the, like, the whole phone call was you guys just telling me I need to get over everything and that, like, my feelings weren't valid and that I'm overreacting, and you literally tell me that the woman sat her phone down. Oh, this is what I'm going to say. I told him I could send them the proof of the things that have been done and said by everyone, including their daughter-in-law. And Will's mom was like, no, I don't want to see it. And Will's dad was like, yeah, send them over. I would love to see it. And I'm like, okay. And then she was like, no, I do not want to look at that. I just want to be done with this. And I'm like, okay, so we don't want to talk about how we got here, which is a huge part of the problem. Because I'm not just going to be talked about and talked down upon forever for a year straight and then just poof, forget about it. No, it's not going to happen. So it just felt pointless. And Will's mom at one point was like, I'm going to say something. I'm going to have to stop talking before I say something that I really regret. And I'm like, because this phone call was over a FaceTime because I refused to be around them in person. But now it's just, she has decided yesterday to send a message to me and Will's mom, in a group message, and ask to watch Rain today. and at our house. And it's because, you know, today's Will's off day. No, we don't need you to watch her on his off day. Like, when he's off work, he works so much that he needs to be able to spend that time with her, okay? And also, she can only do a Thursday because it's the only day that she doesn't have her other grandson. So, yeah. No, thank you. Okay, hold on. Okay. Anyways, there's that. That's just some of the story. So annoying. I'm just so over it. But we will see. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. But it's not good, and I'm really tired of it. So, yeah. It's just a bad situation because I just feel like sad for my kid, or for our kid, but also it's like, at what point, like I said yesterday, it feels like it's like, how do you repair something that someone keeps like messing up over and over and over, and like every time I start to like not get over it, but get better from whatever they've done from the last month or the last month, it starts happening again. And then they just want to be like, oh, can I babysit, or can I hang out with Rain, your kid? And I'm like, not really how that works, you know, because if you don't have any respect for the mom, then like, I just don't feel comfortable with that, you know? So, I don't know. Let me see see if my baby's awake. Okay, anyways, so I'm gonna hop off of here, and thank you for watching. I'm gonna have to take this Invisalign out and see why my freaking tooth is so shiny right there. It always does it with this one, but whatever. Invisalign, actually, they say that like the first week makes it your teeth really sore, but the first week it was rough. They said that's the roughest, but now I'm on the 12th, yeah, the 12th one, the tray, so it's 12 weeks, and like, that's why I had to go to the dentist yesterday, because it's so, whatever's happening, it's like everything was fine, and now something's happening. And it's just way bigger over here, and it hurt just like sitting here talking, probably because I've been talking for like 2 hours straight. So yeah, I'm gonna go, and I hope you have a good night. Thank you for listening, and I will maybe come on here tomorrow. So anyways, have a good night. Bye.